Hey everyone, it's Joe, the 50-something Dasher, and in today's video, I want to talk about the one kind of glaring opportunity that I see with DeliverThat. I'm pretty much a brand new driver, just did my first delivery yesterday, but there's one thing that I noticed about this that it's like right away I cringed when I discovered that, okay, this is one of these apps where in the case of DeliverThat, I think it's when an offer gets, there's different tiers of drivers, and when an offer gets down to the lowest tier, let's just call it the entry level drivers, then it gets sent out to all those drivers in the marketplace like all at once. And it just kind of feels like you either have to be like cheating and use some kind of offer accepting tool or app. I don't even know what those different apps are even called, or I've never, looked into anything like that. Or it kind of feels like you'd almost have to be somebody that like has your smartphone in one hand for like 16 hours straight a day and your index finger like hovering over where that accept button is and looking at your screen in this position right here for like 16 hours straight, and then there's an offer, and then hit it real quick. And then I mean, what kind of life is that, or existence is that, if you have to be sitting here like this in order to make money, and you have to be in this position for like hours upon hours and that's your only chance to accept an offer before anybody else does. So I just think there's a much better way to do this. And I just now sent an email to DeliverThat and laid all this out in an email. We'll see if they get back to me or not. I don't know. But a couple things here. I could kind of see having a system like that if we were talking about the junkiest of junk orders. If we're talking about like Uber Eats and DoorDash, and we're, these $2 and $3 orders, or like I've seen some terrible orders on Uber Eats. Like I've seen, like, for instance, like Walmart orders where you're picking up like 5 different orders and delivering or going like 15 miles and making like $7. Or just absolutely insanely terrible orders. Well, on something like that, I could understand sending it out to 5,000 drivers all at one time. There's going to be somebody foolish enough to take it. And I understand in that sense, but we're not talking about like trashy junk orders here. This is a catering app, and we're talking about orders that, from my understanding of things, should pay at least somewhere around that $20 range for each order. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Is there such a thing as a DeliverThat order that pays like less than $10 total? I mean, so, and the other thing too is because they're scheduled so far out in advance, like more than 3 hours in advance, and sometimes like the night before, and all this kind of thing. Well, if that's the case, if they're higher paying and they're scheduled in advance, I have a hard time understanding. It doesn't seem to me like it would be too hard to get somebody to accept these offers. And because you can clearly see that when the offers that I've seen come across, it's accepted immediately, like within like not even a full second, like within milliseconds, it's accepted. So they're being accepted is my point. There's not, and I know I've only had this app for like a week or maybe 2 weeks, something like that. I know I don't have a whole lot of experience, but it's not like there's like an offer that sits there for like 2 or 3 hours and nobody picks it up. I mean, I imagine that's not the case. So anyway, here's my suggestion. Once an offer gets down to that lowest tier, the entry level tier, I just think a 10-second, at the very least, offer it to one driver at a time. And my suggestion that I emailed to DeliverThat was 10 seconds. Okay, just send it to just one driver, give that driver 10 seconds, enough time to pull up, because like in my case this morning, I saw several push notifications, at least 3 or 4. And this was early. It's around probably 6:45, 7 a.m. range. And each time I go to pull the app back up into my foreground and there's no offer, it's already gone. So give me and give the other drivers 10 seconds. And that means that in 1 minute time, that offer can, if need be, can hit 6 different drivers that are showing online, I'm sorry, showing available. And then even if it went 2 minutes, then it could roll, 10 seconds each to 12 different drivers. And so you're telling me that a catering order that's going to pay like at least $20 or whatever, you mean to tell me that it's not going to get picked up if you cycle that through about 12 drivers in 2 minutes time? Nobody's going to pick that up. I have a hard time believing that. And like, I'm just, in my suggestion here, I'm just asking for like 2 or 3 minutes. So all of these orders are getting scheduled hours in advance, like, 4, 5, 6 hours, maybe even longer for all I know, hours in advance. And you can't take just like 2 or 3. It might only take 1 minute. It might just take 30 seconds. The third driver accepts it. You just can't take a few seconds or like 3 minutes to cycle it through drivers one at a time. And I'm sure somebody will take it. You can't just take a couple minutes. I mean, it doesn't have to be like with DoorDash. It's the bare minimum I've seen is probably about like, on every offer, it's about like 40 seconds. Maybe I've seen a couple 30-second timers. And then I've seen as long as maybe like 80 seconds. It varies the amount of time the app gives you. But they wouldn't have to do, 40 seconds. They could just do 10. 10 seconds just to give people just a fighting chance. Because I don't stand a chance against somebody that's using some kind of offer accepting tool. I stand no chance against a computer. So I'm in my 50s here, folks. So I'm slow. I'm sorry. It takes me a good like 2 or 3 seconds to pull the app up and hit the button. I don't have like, computer type speed with my finger, and I don't have some kind of tool to do it for me. So anyway, sorry if I sound long-winded here, but that's my suggestion. Like I said, I emailed that off to them. We'll see if I get a reply. If I do, I'll throw a comment, with whatever was said. And we'll see. But I'm gonna last thing I'll say here is I think I'll continue on with it and keep it open and try to get some offers. But what I've been noticing so far, I've seen in just my very limited experience, is I see the most offers around that, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. range is when I see stuff coming across in just my few days of experience here. That's when I'm usually busy with DoorDash. I'm usually really busy, and then and have orders, and I'm working on orders. I'm driving, so I don't. I need more than just a 100th of a millisecond. I need more time than that because I'm busy. I'm on an order. I'm doing stuff. So if you give me 10 seconds, maybe I can accept it. Maybe I have a fighting chance. And I'm sure I could probably work overtime as I get more orders. I can work my way up the ranks and move up into those upper tiers. But maybe that's a possibility. But I have to ask myself, at what cost? I mean, am I going to have to spend a few months, 6 months of my life, maybe starting to do for like say 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. each day, like have nothing else going on in my world except for having the DeliverThat app open and have my phone held like this and with my finger, ready to go. And I have to stay in this position right here for like 60 minutes straight in order to have a prayer at accepting an offer. I mean, if I want to kind of move up to the ranks, do I have to do something like that for like 2 or 3 months straight or whatever to move up? Or I don't know. I don't know. It just, it's kind of like, it seems like a good opportunity, but at the same time it doesn't seem like a good opportunity because the price may be too high to get to where you could regularly have good work off of it. I don't know. I'm sorry. It kind of feels like I'm rambling right now, so I apologize. I'll shut this down. And we'll see what happens in the coming, days and weeks or whatever. But anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. We'd love to have you on board. That's it for now. Make sure to drive safe out there. Thanks again for watching.